All right, let's get right into it. You know that feeling, right? The squeeze, the weight, that constant pressure of life. But what if I told you that the very thing that feels like it's about to crush you is actually the secret to unlocking your biggest advantage? That's what we're talking about today, how to turn all that pressure into what we're calling hustle juice.
Yeah, I know, sounds like a weird question, right? What can a crushed pineapple teach me about success? But stick with me here, because the answer tells you everything you need to know about your own potential, about pressure, and about what happens when you just refuse to break.
Look, it really boils down to this. When pressure hits, one of two things is going to happen. It either busts you, or it builds you. It can shatter you like a pipe, or it can forge you into a diamond. And here's the kicker from the source material we're looking at. Which one happens isn't random. It's a choice. It's all about your mindset and your strategy.
Okay, so before we can use this pressure, we've got to get real about what it actually is. The source we're looking at gives us this incredible image, a golden pineapple stuck in a vise. That pineapple? That's you. That's your business, your life, your goals, and that vise is just squeezing tighter and tighter. And this is where it stops being some abstract idea and gets really personal, right? For you, maybe it's that financial grip that just won't let go. Or maybe it's more of an emotional thing. Or just that feeling of being stuck, like the walls are closing in. The first step, really, is just naming it. What's your specific pressure?
And this quote, this just nails it. You have a choice. You can let that squeeze just crush you, leave you completely empty, or you can look it right in the eye and say, bring it on. Give me everything you've got. That's the moment. That's the moment of defiance where you decide, you know what? I'm going to make some juice out of this.
So that brings us to the solution. If the squeeze is the problem, the juice is the answer. It's all about that transformation, that alchemy of turning something that feels awful into pure fuel. And yeah, that fuel has a name. The source calls it hustle juice. I kind of love that. It's not about just getting by, not just surviving. It's about thriving. It's the power you create when you make that conscious decision. This pressure isn't a wall, it's a launch pad.
But here's a really crucial insight, maybe the most important one. The pressure doesn't create the good stuff. It doesn't give you talent or resilience. No, that stuff was already inside you. The squeeze just forces it out. It reveals the value that was there the whole time.
Okay, so the idea is cool, right? But how do you actually do it? How do you apply this in the real world? Well, to find a playbook, the source material goes somewhere unexpected. Somewhere a lot of people would call controversial.
Now hold on, I know exactly what you're thinking. Every guru on the planet says, don't talk about politics, right? But the argument here is that if we completely ignore it, we're missing out on some of the most powerful, most raw, most effective lessons in strategy there are. So just for a few minutes, let's agree to set the politics aside and look at this purely as a masterclass in strategy. Deal?
Okay, so don't get caught up in the details of the issue itself. Just listen to the language being used here, which was pulled from a news report. Arms race. That's not friendly language. That's the language of an all-out, high-stakes war. Again, we are not here to endorse any of this. Our only goal is to decode the tactics. What do people do when the pressure is at its absolute peak?
So what can we pull from this? What are the strategic plays? The source points out a few key things. First, a laser-focused unified mission, no confusion. Second, the sheer will to stay the course, even when everyone is coming at you. Third, the power of having a team that is in lockstep. And finally, having a clear strategy to just get it done. This is pure power dynamics, plain and simple.
All right, that's the theory, that's the case study, but how do we bring that back to our battlefield? You know, your business, your career, your personal mission.
It actually breaks down into a pretty simple 3-step playbook. Step 1, find your unifying mission. What is the one thing you stand for that is absolutely non-negotiable? Get crystal clear on it. Step 2, build your lockstep coalition. Who's with you? Your team, your partners, your diehard audience. And step 3, brace for impact. Because trust me, if what you're doing matters, there will be opposition. Guaranteed.
And this is why all of this matters to you. Let's be real. Your business, your brand, it's a war. It's a war for the hearts and minds of your audience. And when you start seeing it that way, as a strategic campaign, it changes the entire game. So let's tie this all together. What's the end game? Why create hustle juice? Why learn these power plays? It's about one thing: freedom. Freedom from the pressure that's holding you down, and freedom from the rules that other people try to put on you.
Think about it. So often, we're handed a playbook of limitations. Gurus, systems, entire industries, they love to put up these guardrails. They tell you what you can't say, what you can't do, what topics are off limits. They're trying to keep you in a neat little box. But you know what? Nothing interesting, nothing powerful ever happens inside that box.
So I'll leave you with this final thought. The next time some guru tells you what to avoid, I want you to ask yourself a question. What if that's exactly where the real power is? What if the things they're scared of are the very things that hold the most important lessons? Maybe real game-changing power isn't about playing it safe. Maybe it's about having the guts to look where no one else will.
They keep telling you, stay motivated. Watch this. Listen to that. Get inspired. But what happens when the video ends? When the music fades? When nobody's clapping, watching, or waiting for you to win? What moves you then? I used to run on borrowed energy, quotes, speeches, people hyping me. Yeah. Felt unstoppable for a moment, then I'd crash. Like it was never in me. That's the problem with external fuel. It burn quick, don't last, don't rule. You dependent on a source outside, so when it disappears, so do you. I was chasing feelings, not building fire. Waiting to feel ready instead of climbing higher. But readiness ain't a mood you catch, it's a discipline you wire. So I had to ask myself something different. If nobody ever told me keep going, would I answer that honestly? I realize purpose don't scream, it whispers. It ain't in the crowd, it's found in the mirror. It ain't an applause or validation checks. It's in what you do when there's nothing to flex. Motivation temporary, purpose permanent. One phase away, the other's inherent. You don't wake up feeling it every day, but purpose don't care how you feel anyway. It moves through you even when you're tired, even when life feel misaligned and wired. It's that quiet push you can't explain. Let's say do it again through the doubt and pain. So I stopped asking how do I feel and started asking what's real, what's mine to build, what's mine to create. That's when I found something stronger than fate. I don't need a reason. I am the reason. I am the reason. I don't need the feeling. I don't need the feeling. I move with meaning. No more waiting. No more waiting. No more chasing. No more chasing. Internal driver. That's what's leading. Yeah. Now I move like it's already decided. No hesitation, no need to be guided. I built a system inside of my soul that don't break down when I'm losing control. External noise don't shake my direction. I learned to operate without the connection. Not disconnected but self-sustained. Energy internal, never drained. I don't need hype, I don't need cheers. I done built this through blood, sweat, tears. Every rep carved into my frame. Now discipline calling me by name. This what it look like when purpose drive. You ain't just working, you feel alive. Even in struggle there's something deeper. You not just moving, you moving with meaning. Listen close. Purpose don't shout, it pulls. It don't beg, it demands. And once you feel it, you can't go back. There's gonna be days you don't feel like it. Do it anyway. There's gonna be days you question everything. Keep going anyway. Because the ones who make it ain't the most motivated. They the most committed to something deeper than motivation. I don't need a reason. Don't need a reason. I am the reason. Am the reason. I don't need the feeling. Don't need the feeling. I move with meaning. Move with meaning. No more which was leading. When the world go quiet, when the noise disappear, when nobody's watching, that's when you find out if you really got it, or if you was just borrowing it. Borrowing it.
I spent $13,600 on a business I didn't even want, at least not the version of it that I ended up getting. Back in 2003, my uncle told me about an opportunity to buy a commercial cleaning franchise. I had some money saved up and decided to take a chance. The investment was $13,600. I put down $6,000 and made payments on the rest. At the time, I thought I was buying freedom. I thought I was buying a business. I thought I was buying my way out of working for someone else. What I actually bought was a mop, a vacuum, and a whole lot of responsibility. Before long, I was cleaning office buildings by myself. Some contracts needed attention once a week. Others needed attention 5 days a week. Some days I'd finish one building and drive straight to another. I wasn't sitting behind a desk giving orders. I was the owner, the manager, the employee, the cleaning crew, the customer service department, everything. At one point, I had around 10 contracts throughout Richmond, Virginia. I eventually hired an employee, but for the most part, it was just me, day after day, night after night, weekend after weekend. And even though I didn't love the work, I learned something that changed my life. I learned that I could commit. I learned that I could build something from nothing. I learned that when I put my mind to something, I don't quit easily. The business eventually came to an end during the 2008 financial crash. Companies started cutting expenses, cleaning contracts disappeared, and I had to go back into the workforce. For a long time, I looked at that experience as a failure. Today, I see it differently. That business taught me one of the most valuable lessons I've ever learned. Just because you own a business doesn't mean you're free. And just because something makes money doesn't mean it's the right vehicle for your future. That experience is what eventually led me to online business. It led me to affiliate marketing. It led me to building communities. It led me to creating content. It led me to the life I'm building today. The $13,600 wasn't wasted. It was tuition. And looking back, it may have been one of the best investments I ever made.
I give you food for action, don't choke on the truth. This lesson I prepared was made just for you. Feast up, I'll keep serving till the pot run dry. Got enough cooking to feed the whole country, no lie. Too many flavors, you know, I got what you like. Don't start beefing with me, you won't win this fight. If you come in peace, keep your teeth intact. I got a plan to get this cake, come grab a stack. Life could be sweet, if you listen, you'll see. Food for action on a platter, served fresh by me. I'm serving knowledge on plates, got the recipe down. A blend of hustle and wisdom, that's my sound. I'm feeding the masses, no crumbs, full course. But if you bring nothing to the table, find the door. Stop acting like you got beef, it won't taste right. This flavor's reserved for those ready.
Okay, family, we are live. We are live. And once again, I want to welcome you guys back to another episode of the Hustlers 10-Minute a Day Challenge. Today is Strong 55, day 4, and we are right at 15 minutes into today's challenge. And today, man, I was just caught off guard, not even 5 minutes before we went live. Not even 5 minutes before. And I'm gonna peel back the curtain so that we can get started, right? Because I'm excited. I'm very excited for what I just saw. And like I said, it caught me off guard because I wasn't expecting to see it. But it makes me think about what I talk to you guys about on a regular basis. If you attract specific types of energy, if you allow certain things to enter your mind and your mindset, you're destined to start running into these situations. You're destined to start putting yourself in front of these positions, in a position to be able to identify and recognize specific things. Like I mentioned in the previous live, the red car theory. When you start talking about things a lot more, when you start focusing your energy in a direction of positive vibrations and of exploration and of growth and development and of learning and stepping out of your comfort zone, not being afraid of using tech, not being afraid of doing the work, that's when you start to put yourself in a whole other environment, and you're able to attract, you're able to pull in things that you would never have been able to get access to before. Now, today, you know, I wanted to talk to you guys about, what I've been working on, the things that I want to develop for you guys. And then I came across something on YouTube as I was just about to I opened up YouTube, and the intention was just to press create so I can start the live stream and get it set up. But everything started to tie into what I wanted to talk to you guys about. See, I'm working on some things behind the scene. I'm always working. I'm always creating. I'm always putting in the work that it seems like other people won't do. And I understand it's challenging. The work is hard. The work is, it has its positives, it has its negatives. It's a challenge. But if you're the type of person that welcomes a challenge, you can turn your challenges into something fun. A lot of people that's in competitions and sports, we have things going on, special events going on, and there's competition, but people are enjoying that competition. Not just the spectators, but the people that are actually involved in the competition themselves. To be able to get a reward at the end, that's the icing on the cake. But being able to be involved in the situation, working through it, seeing it through play by play, that's an even bigger reward. It shows that you've put yourself in a position to learn specific skills. And now you're activating those skills. You're putting those skills to use. And everything that you've worked and built towards is starting to come together. So I've been working on something in the background once again. And I talked to you guys about it, you know, a little bit. I give you a little bit of, uh, insight into it on a regular basis when I talk to you about the movie studio mindset and how you have to have a specific type of mindset in order to build your online business. Now, what I'm working on is a training course, which I titled Movie Studio Mindset, because, of course, my main focus is content creation, and specifically in the realm of AI generated content. And I wanted to be able to create something that's unlike what anybody else is doing. Yes, there's other people doing things out there, and their value is their value. So I don't like to step on other people's toes as far as what they bring to the table, because what one person brings to the table is meant for them. Maybe a few people can do the same thing, but of course, there's going to be those standout type of people. The people that's going to be the pioneers, and then the people that's going to actually take the game and take it to a whole new level. So me myself, I put myself in, just like one of the songs I created over a year ago, right? I put myself in that fourth category where I'm peeping out everything that's going on. I'm listening quietly. I'm observing. I'm absorbing also the information. I'm watching what's going on, and I'm saying to myself, okay, that's what they're doing. This is what we're doing. That's what they can do, and this is what we can do. And then I take action on the thoughts, and then I say to myself, how can we make this a little bit different? How can we not be an imitator of somebody else? How can we be a standout? Something that makes us unique. and special so that everybody knows there's a complete difference between them and us. So with the movie studio mindset, I'm creating something using some of my favorite tools. Now, one of the things that I love is consistency. I'm consistent with a lot of things. I don't like change too much. I don't like to be changing things up. I don't like, shiny objects and things like that, going from one thing to another. I used to like that. Back in the day, I used to like, hey, the new this came out, the new that came out, so I'm gonna try it. But I've remained consistent with a lot of things in my life, and I'm that type of person that sticks with things. I think back as far as my cell phone carrier. I've had the same cell phone carrier for over 25 years. Yes, I was presented with opportunities to change carriers, you know, here, there, get this savings, get that savings. But since I was in high school, I had the same cell phone carrier. Now, the carrier itself, it changed names over the course of time, but I still remain committed to that particular carrier. My cable provider, I could have switched to, a whole different cable provider and things like that, but I stayed consistent with that same company when I saw other companies with other offers and this, that, and the third. I stayed consistent. Even down to my car insurance, I've been consistent with that, even though I changed it up a couple of times, only due to specific reasons. When one's not treating you good, when, the price keeps going up and up and up, and, different things like that, then you have to make a change. But other than that, I remain consistent for probably over a decade when it comes to that. So when it comes to me being in this online industry, the one thing that I love to do and the one thing that I love to teach people about is building something based off of consistency and something that's built for longevity. I believe in being able to have something that's going to be here with you today and be here with you tomorrow. And hopefully if you build it right and you share it and you teach others how to use it, mainly let's say your family members, then once when you're gone, you can possibly pass that on to those individuals. So it's something that can continue to live on even after you're gone, right? Remember yesterday's live, we talked a lot about, being here in the present because today is the present. It's the only day we have. Now, I didn't know what today would bring yesterday because I wasn't here yet. I didn't know if today would actually exist yesterday because once again, only thing we have is the present. And yesterday at that time, that was all that I had. And I told you guys then that, more than likely, for the majority of people, they understand that you only have today to make a decision and take action. Now, yesterday was Decision Day Wednesday, right? And today is Take Action Thursday, right? So action taken Thursday. I took action. I didn't wait till today. I waited until the ideas and the thoughts came to mind and I went to work. I took action. So I was looking on TikTok, right? And I wanted to know how I could get better on TikTok. So I invested in a training program and it's called TikTok Takeover. And it was created by one of my business partners, Miss Beverly Samuel. And the training course itself, it was a refresher. It was more so of a refresher for me. It's things that I've been doing for years. But to see her mention a lot of those things that, I've been doing for years, it confirmed to me that yes, she knows what she's talking about and that she's a good source of information in order to be able to share the information with other people because I've been through it and I've experienced it myself, right? So I went on TikTok and I looked at something that I created a long time ago. And once again, this was a post that I did that I didn't create the video itself. It was a Creative Commons video that I actually just chopped up. It was about maybe a 4-minute long horror story, and I chopped it up into about 45 seconds on average each clip until it got to the last, you know, the conclusion, which, as it says right there, is 1 minute and 8 seconds long. And I have that pinned at the top of my TikTok account. Now, as you can see up here, I put in the work. So once again, I'm telling you, if you're not willing to put in the work on any level, no matter what platform you're on, no matter what you decide to do, if you're not willing to put in the work, then you're not my target audience. So as you can see to date, I have 1,005 posts that I've done just on TikTok alone. And this one right here was something that was a major standout. So as it says right here, this one was titled The Disney Horror Story, and it was the conclusion. This is my most viral video. And once again, it's not something that I created. It's something that I simply just chopped and posted. It has over 1.7 million views, over 136,000 likes, and 542 comments. And it's still getting views today. So 5 years later, going on 5 years later, this video is still my #1 watched video. And that's what kind of encouraged me to get back into that particular niche of, horror stories. Now, back then, 5 years ago, AI wasn't a big thing. So this wasn't an AI generated video. This was a 3D animation style video or 2D animation video. And that's when people love 2D animation, which they still do. But as we often say, when something new comes on the block, people often, they want to act like the old stuff doesn't exist anymore, it doesn't matter, and they want to move on because they, for the most part, have that shiny object syndrome, right? But 2D and 3D animation was the thing, and it still is. But now we have the ability to use AI in order to create and recreate similar or even better styles of videos. And I decided that I'm going to get back into the horror genre because that's what this particular account was built off of. And in this particular account of mine, this one video right here is the is responsible for the majority of my followers. 30,000 followers on this particular account. Now, before I posted this video, I probably had in the range of, let's say, around 5,000 followers. So this video alone made a major difference. So I would have to say that this account is built off of horror. And over the course of time, I've swayed, I've went away from the horror, and I started to create other styles of video and started to post it on here. And as you can see, nothing has come close to that particular video. And so, that says, hey, maybe we need to get back to the horror. We need to recreate that magic. We need to possibly get into making this particular style, not just horror, but maybe 2D animated style, just like the name of my TikTok account, which is Animated Life Marketer. But with this right here, it brought me back to, I guess you would say, the essence. What actually brought me to the table? What actually got me notoriety? What actually got my account to a place where, I got monetized on TikTok. I became a part of, they sent me an invitation to start my own TikTok shop. So it allowed me the opportunity to get so many things. So I need to get back into it, right? But once again, that TikTok takeover training, that's one thing that, I want to share with you guys. If you want access to that specific training, that's going to help you and that's going to teach you some methods to help you build up a TikTok account. I want you to comment takeover. If you comment takeover, I'm going to send you exclusive access to that training. And also, if you get that training, which it's only $7, one-time investment of $7. If you get that training, I'm going to give you an additional bonus with that, absolutely free. And that bonus is going to teach you how to start your own TikTok shop and how to, be able to build and, once when you use the foundational skills, to be able to build your TikTok account and to qualify for a TikTok shop, then you're going to need to know how to actually create that shop, how you're going to be able to, make the best of it so that you can monetize it and build a profitable business. That's the goal. Now, that exclusive bonus is only offered by me. You won't receive that bonus anywhere else. So if anybody else is promoting the TikTok takeover from Miss Beverly Samuel, which is one of my personal business partners, and I'll be on a mastermind with her later on tonight, this evening, matter of fact. And we're going to talk about some things, that helps us move forward our respective businesses. So I have the inside track to the creator themselves, and I also have the inside track to this bonus that nobody else will have access to. So that right there is that. And it just ties into what I saw. Once again, what I saw less than 5 minutes before I went live. I'm pulling up YouTube and I see a thumbnail of someone, and I'm just going to pull up this particular, I'm going to pull up that YouTube video. And I want you to see that I only got 3 minutes and 13 seconds into the video because, of course, I had to get ready to go live with you guys. But it says here, when I looked at the thumbnail, and you can see the thumbnail right here, it says she's got big tech scared. How? How? That right there, that was enough to stop the scroll for me. I wanted to know how. And then I saw the title. It says she built the black chat GPT. Here's why. Wow. That right there, I had to click on this video so I can learn, what did this young lady do? It says it clearly right here. It says she built the black chat GPT. Now, that goes in line with what we're talking about. That goes in line with that intro training, that training that I created along with my business partner, the AI, months ago. And it talks about, being in your own niche and positioning yourself to step outside of the box, not listening to what one person says and says, hey, you should do things this one way, that, oh, my way is the best way, and to try to keep you inside of a box. Your success, as I often say, is going to rely on your personal creativity and your will to fill a void that's been missing. There's people that are looking for specific things in life, and you can be the one to fill that void. And this right here, once when I saw it, I had to take action on it. She created a black chat GPT, and this is valuable. This is very important because just like they say with anything, representation matters. And we know, as a black man myself, I know, growing up in specific areas, certain areas, I know how it feels to be or looked at as a minority, looked at as the other, looked at in a specific way that you get judged and you get, you know, discarded, and things get, you know, created that's not specifically beneficial for you. It might be created to be beneficial to somebody else, but you're a second hand thought in the minds of certain people. And for a person or a person who's part of a specific community that's felt like they're left out and they're excluded from access to specific things, this right here is something that would make a person like that stop the scroll and say, hey, you're speaking to me. You're providing a solution that looks like it's designed specifically for me, and I got to have it. I got to know what it is. So I stopped and I got 3 minutes in. And as I got 3 minutes in, the video froze and it started to have that circle in the middle where it was like refreshing. And all I could do was laugh to myself, because it's always like that. When you come across something that, stops the scroll, something of value, something that's really important, things happen. You get those things in your way. The universe starts to take over and it says, oh, well, you can't really have that. We're going to slow you down just a little bit. But I'm going to refresh it. I got it in my history now, so it's going to be there. That this video is going to be there. Even if I have to close this page and reopen it and start the video over again, I'm going to get this information. And not only am I going to get this information, but I already started to take action on this information. So I'm going to watch that. I'm going to learn what this young lady did. And within the first 3 minutes, she had my attention. And I said, yeah, let's get started. Let's get to that. So I took action. I started to search it up. And I'm gonna tell you right now, the name of that AI tool that she created is called Aisha AI. Wow. Aisha AI. AISHA. Now this right here is something that's powerful because it's created to fill a void. It's created to speak to a specific group of people that's been left out, and that's been, I don't know about you. I don't know about you, or, how you feel or whatever you've been through. But have you ever used some of these AI tools and you just notice that there's something specific about it that it will only give you certain types of responses? You ask it for a picture, and if you don't specify, it's only going to give you a specific type of picture. If you ask for a picture of a male or a female, it's only going to give you a specific representation unless you're really specific. So it's not really designed to give you a representation of yourself culturally. It's not designed to, give you information that's accurate specifically about yourself, your cultural needs. And just to see and hear that she's trying to help fill that void of providing an AI service that actually represents a specific culture of people, Black people. So it says here, Aisha, pronounced I-E-Sha, is an AI chat assistant built from the ground up to better serve the people mainstream AI has failed. Aisha centers Black sources and history as foundational principles. That's deep. That sounds like the basis of the hustle verse. That sounds like what I intended on creating when I started the hustle verse. Now, it's not meant to exclude anyone, but it's meant to add a lane for people like me. Not just black men and women, but people that are creative also. People that don't want to be average. People that don't want to stick to cookie cutter style marketing. People that don't want to be told, hey, you don't need to learn the tech. You don't need to do this, that, and the third. You just stay basic, stay average. We'll handle everything else. No, it's for people like me that says, hey, forget all that. I want to know. I want the information. I want to be hands on. I want to be able to know how to do this, that, and the third. I don't want to be lazy. I want to take action. I want to do the things that most people are afraid to do. That's what excites me. Don't come to me with your, I'll do 95% of the work and, you just stay right there in your lane. That's too much for you. That's too complicated because to a certain group of people, we've heard that kind of stuff for decades. Stay in your lane. Don't learn that. And even worse, we were not only told not to learn certain things, we were restricted from learning certain things, from taking action on certain things. So we had to sneak and learn this, that, and the third. We had to sneak and learn how to read, write, how to do everything else that other people were privileged to be able to walk into a room and be taught. So me, naturally, as a black man, I'm designed a little bit different. I'm designed to not want to be put inside of a box that says, hey, you're only good for this. You're only good for that. I'm 6'8", and all my life I've been tall. And I was told that, oh, you should play basketball. And I never wanted to. That was a box that wasn't for me. I looked at that as, okay, yeah, height is a benefit for that particular thing, but I looked at it not really as disrespectful, but I looked at it as, trying to keep me in my place, so to speak. Keep me in a place that, that says, a black man is only good for, you know, playing with cotton, right? Basketball, football, sheepskin, right? Cotton, whatever. Metaphors, right? But I always looked at it like, no, my gift is my mental capacity. My gift is the thing that you basically you praise other people for, but you never would have looked at me and thought that I was an intellectually sound person because you looked at me and you judged me based off my height. Or you looked at me and you judged me based off my cap that says hustle. And you want to put me in a box and you want to believe that I'm a specific type of person. I laugh and I like that to an extent because the truth, the truth of the matter will actually shock you. And I like being the person that maybe some people might see in a room and they might think a specific way and then they'll start talking about stuff that they think that, I don't know about or I don't have any concept of. And I'm right there with them and I'm listening and I'm like, okay, yeah, I know about that. Not only do I know about that, but I've been there before you even got there. So I love that. I love that feeling. And this right here gives me that feeling. This young lady, she created something that said, I'm meant to build something, and I'm building something that other people, thought that I couldn't build, and other people didn't take the time and the effort to focus on building. So it was up to her in order to build it. And so I looked it up. I did a search, and then I found the page, right? And then I started, I had to sign in right away. I didn't get to use it yet because, like I said, it was just not even 5 minutes before I went live with you guys today. And it was a couple of questions that got me started off. And to see this page right here, you come to the first page really after you sign in. And it says here, it has a question. It says, did you know he was the highest ranking black officer in the U.S. Army? Then he bought 800 acres in California and built a town from scratch. That's black history. Wow. You won't see that featured on other sources like that. You won't see that as being the primary thing, the first thing that you see when you come into something. You won't see that as you scroll through. You won't see us featured. And I got to click that because I want to read more. Allensworth. Okay. Allensworth retired from the U.S. Army in 1908 as the highest ranking African American officer of his era, a lieutenant colonel. Wow. This right here is amazing history. This is something of great value, something that can inspire and motivate the youth, and that can provide a sense of confidence in, you know, a culture of people that's normally presented in such a light that doesn't focus on their greatness. So they got the AI button here, Ask Aisha, and I'm gonna spend some time using this to see the power of this tool. Now, you know, just like with anything when it first starts, I don't expect it to be perfect. I don't expect it to blow everything else out of the water right off top because it's just getting started. But I'm going to give it a chance. I'm going to give it a shot just because it was created specifically for me. And that's how I see it. It was created specifically for me. So I'm going to respect it like that. I'm going to take the time to focus on it, give it my attention, because this young lady took the time to provide something that was focused on us. So with that, I just want to wrap up today's live by saying to you once again, make sure that you're willing to step outside of the box. Don't stay stuck inside of a box that says you have to do one thing and one thing only. Use the foundational skills that you're being taught, no matter what program, whatever opportunity you're part of. Use those foundational skills in order to help you build something for yourself, your family, and your community. And that brings me to, you know, an amazing system that I use on a daily basis, right? So the OLSP system. Now, we're going to have some upcoming trainings. And matter of fact, there's an upcoming training today. So today it's going to be a different start time. So 12 p.m. EST time. So if you're part of this amazing system, you'll be able to get access to it. But you have to start off here, right? You have to grab your mega link. There's always a starting point. You have to be able to get access to the room so that you can learn and see what's available to you inside the room. So you get access to that, you take action, and then you'll be able to join us today live in a matter of 2 hours and 10 minutes, right? And this is what the title of this training is: the Ultimate Profit Boot Camp. Watch me and 3 of my students live on stage. So you're going to hear people that's speaking from experience of them going through this particular system, them taking action on the system, them implementing what it is that's taught in the system, and them getting results that you can possibly get also if you are part of the system. So it says, this Thursday, I stepped onto a stage that isn't mine. and I'm bringing 3 of my own students with me. The people behind the Ultimate Profit Bootcamp invited us to show what's possible when everyday people follow a simple path. Register free and watch it live. So my business partner, Mr. Wayne Crow, and Anthony McCarthy. Now that's funny right there, right? That right there is funny because yesterday, believe in yesterday's live, right? I showed you some example of emails. And one of the things that, you know, I didn't point out to you guys was I was talking about one particular online marketer, Mr. Anthony Morrison. And I was showing you guys like all of the emails that I get from him. But of course, I'm on multiple people's email lists. I don't just learn from one particular person. I take notes. I learn from multiple sources so I can put together a full picture. But in that list of emails, I clicked on one and I was talking about it to you guys, and I was giving an example of how your email doesn't have to be that long. And as I'm looking at the video, I'm looking at the closing line on the email, and it wasn't Anthony Morrison's email. It was actually Anthony McCarthy. So I've been on this gentleman's email list for the longest also. So now I get to see a live presentation that's being hosted by him and one of my personal business partners, Mr. Wayne Crow. So you see how, once again, energy attracts energy. You speak about something, you put yourself out there, you attract the energy, and then the energy comes back to you. I didn't know that I didn't know that they knew each other, but in this industry, it's kind of like the movie industry and probably sports and stuff like that. Once when you're inside, it seems like everybody knows everybody. You start, realizing this person knows that person, and it becomes like a club. So out of all of the, hundreds of people that he could have been connected with, it's funny that he's doing this ultimate profit boot camp, this live with the very person that I just, didn't talk about in my last live, but what it was actually focused on, the person it was actually featured in my last live. So I'm going to be there at 12 p.m. EST time, and hopefully you get started with us so that you can be there also to hear what the 3 students of my business partner, Mr. Wayne Crow, what 3 of his students has to say. And I know for a fact that one of those students is Miss Beverly Samuel, the creator of the TikTok takeover system. So once again, everything ties in and it comes full circle. So you can learn and you can hear directly from the people that are taking action. So with that, I hope you guys, enjoyed today's live. I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. And we're going to continue on. We're going to continue to do what we do on a daily basis. I'm going to continue to work on projects and products for us here in the Hustleverse, which I'm working on a few things. And of course, like I said, the mindset, the movie studio mindset training, I'm putting that together. And before we close out, I just want to show you a clip real quick because I started to talk about it, right? When I mentioned TikTok, right? And I went to TikTok once again. Let me go back here. And like I said, I wanted to focus on horror, right? But I also want to make sure that I'm paying attention to what's going on and what's really moving the needle. So I clicked this button again, right? Inspiration. And at the top of the list was Love Island, which I mentioned to you in a previous live, right? So looking at that, knowing that this is getting all of these views, I said to myself, okay, why not create my own Love Island style video, right? using my favorite AI tools and using a specific twist. So let me just press play on this for a second so that you guys can see what, I started working on.
6 singles entered the villa looking for love, but the villa was looking for something else.
All right, so that's just a little preview, something that I'm putting together, right? And this right here is going to be, a Love Island. And let me just play that one more time because I want you to get a feel for this last part because, like I said, we got to tie it in with our own personal style, right? Right, I just wanted you to hear the music, right? Because of course we have our, our horror themed instrumental pack that you guys can actually get access to for free also, right? So we got a lot of stuff, a lot of bonuses, a lot of things that you can do, right? But this tied in once again because I want to stick with the horror theme, right? So we have the horror instrumental bundle. We have our viral style video topic, a Love Island style. But now we bring in and we combining it with our own personal style, right? And so in the movie studio mindset training, I'm going to teach you guys how to actually put together things that's like this. Put together scenes, put together your own possible short stories and movies and things like that. And you can use that skill to apply it to just about anything you want to do. If you want to create commercials for yourself, for your products and services, or if you want to create them for other people, you have that ability to be free and step outside of the box. So with that, once again, I believe, that you're in the best place at the best possible time, which is the present, the only time that we have. And, you won't find any training like this anywhere else. And I know that because I've been there. I've seen what they have. Not to say anything bad about what they have, but the purpose of experiencing something is to know what that experience is like so that you can either recreate that experience or you can go beyond that experience and provide that to your target audience, right? Like that Aisha AI app, right? So with that, let's pull up our closer. I'll catch you guys in the next live, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.
Woke up to silence, dreams still heavy. Phone screen dry, but my vision stays steady. Mama said, baby, that job ain't your lane. But I clocked in anyway, chasing someone else's game. Dad got me dancing with denial at night. Scrolling for hope, but it's hidden from sight. 10 minutes a day, sounded small at first. But in silence, even whispers can quench a thirst. Notebook in hand, wrote my future in ink. Mapped out my mission before I started to sink. Every post was a prayer, every share had weight. I wasn't selling a link, I was shifting fate. I found my rhythm in the quietest place, where hustle meant healing and grind meant grace. From the corner of doubt, I carved my space. Legacy ain't loud, but it wins the race. 10 minutes says she doing too much. To my PayPal ping, then they changed up the touch. No big brand, no six-figure crew, just a mic, some lyrics, and a dream that grew. Tired of waiting for the gatekeeper's call, so I built my own stage, held my own hall. Suno on deck, that's the beat in my chest. GPT spitting like I'm born to impress. Said I'd never make it, cool, noted. But now my bars turn pain into coated. From broken to branded, I ain't asked for fame, I asked for freedom and I claim my name now. Hustle berry on loop like healing chance, for the girls who grew up with limited chance. This is more than a challenge, it's breaking the chain. Cause 10 minutes a day rewired my brain. 10 minutes a day, brick by brick, built from the bottom. Now the vision stick, no hype, no cap, just clarity. This ain't just income, it's legacy. Every click, every song I create etches my name where they can't erase. You can doubt, but you gon' see. 10 minutes a day turned into legacy. Now my daughter sees me different, eyes full of fire. She said, Ma, your words lift me higher. This ain't a hustle, it's a heart-led path, where math meets message and message meets math. Community over clicks, value over hype. I ain't here to trend, I'm here to type blueprints for the ones still stuck in fear. Let them borrow my belief till their purpose clear. Haters still quiet, but I'm loud with grace. Posting in peace, not a mask on my face. Every bar I drop, every beat I write, I'm freeing the